Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
You're watching.
We're watching. You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy. Fanboy.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Nolan North, we are talking to the Green Lantern in Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. We got two more coming. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. How are you?
I am great. Listen, you've been Superboy, you've been Superman, now you're the Green Lantern, you got your power ring. Let's start with this before we get into the movie. If you had that power ring, what is the first thing you're constructing?
Oh, you know what? I just got a complaint that my dogs have been barking, and I think it's one of my neighbors. And I'd get a wall. I would get a wall. I want to build a wall. It's not good. No, I'd soundproof the yard. I have Great Pyrenees, and they're too loud right now. Or maybe I could each give them like their own Green Lantern bubble that they could run around in. I don't know. I have many, many uses that I think of, but all of mine are very practical. They're not very exciting. They're just really practical things, just like, I don't want people denting my car in a parking lot. Bubble, Green Lantern, moving things.
That's very John Stewart Green Lantern of you instead of Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I think I'd save a fortune on drywall repairs. It's just, you got to get a lift, you got to do all this stuff, hire somebody. I think I can get things done so quickly. So I'm into it. I'm practical Green Lantern. That would be my call sign.
Well, the film was incredible. I told Jim Krieg, the writer and executive producer, that how are you able to take a cartoon like this and make us tear up in the relationship between the Flash and Iris West while the entire multiverse is collapsing in on itself?
It just comes down to great writing. I think any project has an opportunity to do really well to emote those kind of feelings among fans, or just, it doesn't even have to be a fan, a viewer. I mean, it's just good writing. And I think when you have that mixed with, strong performances, you get something special. And I think we certainly have that in this one.
You guys really pulled off an incredible feat with the first movie, and we got two more coming. When you get something like this, because in Young Justice you were Superboy, and we had 3+ seasons to tell the story and his evolution out of the pod into becoming his own man in regards to dealing with Superman and Lex Luthor. And now here we go, Green Lantern is thrust into this end of the world type scenario. And then at first doesn't even want to be part of the Justice League because he's like, I'm already with these guys over here. I don't need you. Like when you get to develop the character in that regard of, I don't need you to, I'm happy to be a part of the family. Like, how do you like that evolution of the character and make it grow within the script while you're reading it?
I remember thinking about this when we were recording. It's a very great question, by the way. It was one of those things where, if you think about it, if you were given these kind of powers, as amazing as it would be, it also can be kind of a lonely thing. You're different. You're special, so to speak. And it's similar to the way Superman, has always been. He's an alien. So how do we deal with that? But there's like that feeling of comfort or safety among numbers. So the idea that you have everybody wants a place to belong. I remember when I first really started getting into voiceover, and I came home and I told my wife, oh, we had this great thing, and we were talking. I think it was Fred Tatasciore was there and Steve Bloom, and we were all just laughing about something. And she said, congratulations, you found your people. And, there's a certain comfort and contentment that you find. And I think the evolution for, the Green Lantern here is, you're part of something, but when you find your family, the place where not only will you protect them, they'll protect you. They have your back. They are, you're part of something bigger, but you're not so alone. I think being a superhero could be a very lonely gig, and I think that's one of the things I always loved as a kid growing up and loving, the Justice League and watching that on Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. Wow, they have a building. They all go and they hang out there. They live together there, it was just, I think same thing with that we did with Young Justice. It was very similar to the fact that they had a team, and it's I think there's a comfort, there's a happiness that comes there, and I think that would be very difficult as a superhero to find that without others like you. Hope that makes sense.
Well, if Fred's on your team, then you're in good company because he's one of the nicest guys on the face of the planet.
He is absolutely the best. And it's I tell people we came up together. We were we've worked so much together, and it's one of the tough things after the whole COVID, where recording went remote. I'm talking to you from Atlanta. I'm doing a new TV series down here in Atlanta, and I ended up moving here. I do all my stuff in a booth here in my house, and even if I was still back in Los Angeles, it's very rare that people get to go to the studios and work in a group together. And I'm very happy that I got that opportunity, because it was guys like, seeing Fred. I remember telling Fred, I know my career is going well when I'm signing in and you're here, or you've just left, because he never stopped. So it's a good benchmark, Fred Tatasciore benchmark.
I dig it. Well, with Justice League, we're getting 3 full-length feature films. And I presume you guys recorded all 3 films back to back, or at least, in multiple sessions, from the get-go. Like, it's not like we stopped at part 1 and then went and recorded part 2 and then let them animate it and then record part 3, or was it, or did it get divided like that?
I can't quite say. I don't know, but yeah, no, I think we still have some work to do. 3. I think there'll be some work on 3. But I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think we've even. I just know that the DVD is this Tuesday, the 23rd, and I'm like, yeah, the hard copy, because I'm old school. I'm like, I like to have a physical copy. Now I don't have the machine to put it in anymore, but it's like, but I'll put it on my shelf and I'll go, yeah, I was in that. So yeah, I think it's one of those very, very cool thing to be able to. I don't know. I can't say too much about when and if we record. A lot of times though, like a lot of projects I've worked on, and this is no different. Things that, things evolve from one to the next. It's not like you have the Hobbit trilogy and you got to it's so big, we have to break it up into 3. So, and I think, you're able, when you do go, part 1, part 2, part 3, it allows for writers and producers to kind of go, well, wait a minute, this story note really hit hard in 1. Let's bring that into 2 or save it for 3. So I don't know. I'm not privy to the writer's process in this one, but a lot of stuff that I've worked on, they write that they make that first one, and then you move on to the next, especially depending on how it's received, right? I mean, a lot of times people say there's no such thing as a part 1 until it's really, really good. Then, okay, now we can do a part 2. But this is a little different, but it's.
Well, thankfully this one was really, really good. And yeah. I'm just like, wow, you invoked emotion in me out of all what's going on, and with Superman's character, and then the Flash, obviously, because he's the center of the DCU and everything else. With Tuesday, like yourself, I love the physical medium. Why do we need to pick up the Blu-ray copy and have the hard copy on our shelf of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1?
I know technology changes all the time, but well, first of all, if you're an autograph hound, you're going to be able to take that copy to a Comic-Con convention, get all the actors and directors, people to sign it, but I just think that there's something special about having the actual hard copy of things. I think, movies, video games, so many things have gone to digital. But there's something, what made the big comeback? I have a 24-year-old son who's desperately into vinyl albums, music. And there's something, to have something tangible to hold, to put on your shelf and to be proud of. And, if something goes wrong, I mean, who knows? I think what goes around comes around, except for 8-tracks. We don't need those back. I think, it's something special about having a hard copy. And again, if you may be a collector of signatures or things, and these are things that you can pass down. Things can get wiped out digitally. You may, I mean, again, I'm 53 years old, and I, as a kid, watched, young Justice League, Saturday morning cartoons. Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Justice, which I love the fact that I was Ted Knight. Doing those things, it was just, I remember I bought some of those old DVDs myself of the ones I watched as a kid and let my kids watch that stuff. So pick it up now on Tuesday. That's my message, because, and again, who knows how many they make in this day and age. Business decisions are made and they say, hey, we only have a limited number of these. Most people are going to do digital. And it's a cool thing to run out and have to do a second printing. So get out there if you're a fan and buy it. Buy it.
I love it. Nolan North, thank you so much for your time, man. It's a great pleasure chatting with you. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 comes out on Tuesday, January 23rd. Can't wait to talk to you again, my friend.
Thanks so much, bud. Appreciate it. Take care, Rob.